Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since my very last episode. I have been procrastinating quite a bit, but I'm back now, so welcome to Tea Time with Annabelle. Before we begin today's episode, I just want to share with you guys this very nice box of tea collection that my best friend got for me for my birthday. This is not sponsored. I just want to share with you guys that Usalak is a tea brand from Jeju Island. Here you can see that there are lots of different varieties of tea flavor, and today I have chosen honey pear tea. I've never tried this before. It looks pretty nice and it smells very good. I have my tea with me here. Grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee, anything that you want, makes you feel comfortable, and let's just begin today's episode. So today's episode, masculinity and femininity. Are you man enough? Actually, what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a woman? If we hear a person telling another person that, hey, are you even a man? Should be man enough. What does it even mean? It probably means the person is not masculine enough. They're not showcasing masculine traits. But when we think about masculine and think about them as men, when we think about the word feminine and we think about women, we are tying a person's value, whether a guy or a girl, a man or a woman, we are tying their value to masculinity and femininity. But masculinity and femininity has nothing to do with gender. You can Google it right now. Masculine traits. What are the traits that are considered masculine? And feminine traits. What are the traits that describes femininity? You will see that masculine traits are often qualities like decisiveness, strong, having boundaries, independent, firm, leadership, courageous, dominant, assertiveness, confidence, responsible, protective, stability. These are qualities and traits that describe a masculine energy. So masculinity has nothing to do with gender. It's more like an energy, like a vibe. When people having these kind of traits and qualities, you feel that, whoa, this person is masculine. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they are a man, right? This graph is actually created by me. I hope it's good enough for you to understand what I'm trying to share with you in this episode today. So this is a black circle with all these qualities and traits that explain masculine energy. And outside of this black circle, you can see all these little arrows that are pointing outwards. Why? Because masculine energy is an energy that is like projective. It's like an outward expression. You need to be strong and decisive and confident in order to get things done, to make things happen in your life, to do things, right? To take action. All these things are qualities and traits that you need to have as a person and in order to make things happen in your life. So understand masculinity as more like a vibe, an energy, instead of tying it to a person's gender. Now, if you look at healthy feminine energy, you will see traits and qualities like creative, intuitive, nurturing, receptive, empathetic, emotional awareness, tenderness, flow, feeling, sensitive, unconditional love, surrender, compassionate. So these are traits and qualities that describe a feminine energy, a feminine vibe. And you can see this white circle containing all these qualities and traits. They have little arrows on the outside as well, but these arrows are not pointing outwards. These arrows are pointing inwards because feminine energy is receptive, that is drawing inwards. If we apply this into our day-to-day life, yes, we need to take action and make things happen, but we also need to take time to rest, to feel our emotions. It's an energy that needs to be balanced. We need to have both. You can't be always doing and taking actions and making things happen. You need to rest. You need to enjoy life. You need to retract and just be with yourself and just be a human being, not human doing all the time. All these traits and qualities in both feminine and masculine energy, these are qualities that what a good human possess, right? Both masculine and feminine energy are needed in oneself, in a person, in order for them to be balanced, to be whole as a human being. So, a person who embodies both healthy masculine and feminine energy has these qualities deeply rooted in their identity. They are a fundamental part of who they are as a person. So, for example, someone who is independent, truly independent, they wouldn't need others to depend on them to prove that they are independent, right? Because their independence is unshakable and self-assured. However, for centuries, looking back into our history, starting from the ancient era, 499 BC, the Greco-Persian War, 木叶 battle in Shang Dynasty, the Roman Empire's countless battles, moving on to the Middle Ages, 100 Years' War between Britain and France, Anlushan Rebellion in Tang Dynasty, and then going to the early mid-modern period, Ottoman War against Europe, the Imjin War, Japanese invasion of Korea, and then going to the industrial period, American Indian War, and then Opium War between China and Britain, right? And then World War I, World War II, the Holocaust, the Vietnam War. Even until today, the ongoing slavery and genocide of Congo and Palestine, right? Wars have been going on for ages until today. And our understanding of masculinity has often been tied to winning wars, conflict, having control over other people, seeking domination over people, over land, taking people's resources. And these are all acts of abuse, violence, and causing death on other people. And these are not true masculinity. They actually represent the wounded masculine. So, what is the wounded masculine? Wounded masculine energy, the qualities and traits that it has, aka the toxic masculinity, are abusive towards yourself or other people, being aggressive, hyper-competitive, external validation, unstable, intimidation, controlling, misogynistic, violent, emotionally repressed, avoidant, and abuse of power. And sadly, these qualities have been the representation of masculinity in our world for far too long. And these wounded masculine qualities, we are actually glorifying them, right? And these wounded masculine qualities that men rely on to define their sense of manhood are driving them to seek more money, more power and control to satisfy their inner insecurities. And this is why we keep seeing, videos of people teaching men how to make women want them, how to be an alpha male, how to have high status. It's like just encouraging more men chasing all these things just to be seen or be called as so-called real men, right? And then additionally, when men believe they can only be masculine, because our society ties our gender with traits, right? So these men will end up neglecting, repressing, and rejecting the feminine within themselves. And since society also associates women with femininity, right? The rejected feminine traits and qualities, energy in a man are often getting projected outwardly, leading men to reject what he sees as feminine, in other people. For example, you hit like a girl. Oh, that person is too emotional. Or men don't cry. Or even calling people gay just because they seem more feminine, right? These are all projections of the neglected feminine traits and energy within ourselves, right? And then to top it all off, the unequal power dynamics. Patriarchy reinforces all these mindsets by giving men most of the power and then also emphasizing on materialism, right? And then using women as a means to boost men's sense of power and ego. And these contributes to the objectification of women and further repressing the feminine energy in our collective. But what we don't realize is that when men glorify all these wounded masculine qualities like being aggressive and have control and domination over other people so that they can secure their status as a so-called real man in this patriarchal system, they are actually also operating from a place of wounded feminine energy. So, what is the wounded feminine energy? The qualities and traits in wounded feminine energy are lacking boundaries, victim mentality, needy, shame, people-pleasing, disconnection with yourself, anxious, unworthiness, self-doubt, codependent, over-emotional, oversensitive, and manipulative. And I can tell you there are tons of manipulative men that will literally do anything to get what they want. And they can also be very sensitive and emotional with their anger outburst, right? So just like healthy masculine and feminine energies are both needed in order to be a whole person, the wounded masculine and feminine are two sides of the same coin. Like they both come from a lack of true self. They don't have self-awareness and unhealed emotional traumas. And we call this the shadows of ourselves. So it's no wonder our world is filled with so much pain and chaos, because instead of learning to heal our traumas and cultivating both healthy masculine and feminine energy, we have been glorifying the wounded masculine qualities and just continuing this cycle for generations. Like for how long? For centuries, right? And you see, our relationship with our masculine and feminine energy is deeply linked to how we view and associate with everything, right? If you look at ourselves, if a man only associate with things that are considered masculine according to society standards, right? His personality and his core beliefs and core values are all gonna base on that, right? And then that will affect, you see, like from this circle from self, we get into our wants and desire, right? That will affect the way that he sets his goals, right? He sets his goals and how he chooses his hobbies and what he's choosing to be interested in, right? And then getting into like the family dynamics, relationships, friendships, and romantic relationships. Does this person strive for true emotional connection? Or he's just too manly for feelings, because men are more logical and women are the emotional ones, right? So let's not talk about feelings that much, right? No, that's not true. And if we look at our society today, a lot of us have to give more importance to our work, to get things done. We are always busy with something, always have places to be, to rush to secure the bag, to make things happen. This is the masculine energy. Nothing's wrong with that, which is good, but we don't seem to give the same importance to spending time knowing ourselves, to explore nature, slowing down to appreciate the little things around us. We don't know the importance of play for adults, to really connect with our loved ones on a much deeper level. And we wonder why we are so burnt out and unfulfilled. So what does it mean to be a real man? Are you man enough? It's only being defined by yourself, and you can only do that by start to go inwards and cultivate your healthy feminine energy to balance your healthy masculine energy, and start to ask yourself, like, what kind of person I want to be? Is it standards and traits and qualities set by societies for centuries? Is it the expectations from the people around us? Because even women, like born under a patriarchal system and inheriting the wounded masculine and feminine traits within themselves as well, they're going to project that onto the people around them, to the men that they interact with. And women are going to think that, oh, what it means to be a man, I want a masculine man to lead me, or to be assertive, to be dominant, and all these things are also standards that are not coming from within themselves. Women are getting all these things from the medias that they consume, the environment that they grow up in. It's the same thing. It's the same thing for both men and women. So it's also coming from women, the pressure that men feel like I have to be like this and look this way so that women would want to be with me. And it takes two hands to clap. Just like masculine and feminine energy, it takes two to be balanced. And if you have wounded masculinity energy and wounded feminine energy, it's the same thing. So on the next episode, I'm going to talk about masculinity and femininity part 2. Are modern women getting more masculine, and feminism and gender roles and all these things? So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.